Have you ever been wrongfully accused of something? I remember one time when I was in middle school, I had missed the first part of my math class. I was out of class because of some responsibilities, and I really enjoyed my math class. It was a class that I had a lot of fun in. I also enjoyed playing with the calculators in the class because they had these really fancy calculators, and you could play games and make them do all kinds of sorts of creative things. And I enjoyed using the calculators. And when I came back into this class after being gone for the first little bit, the teacher starts yelling at me. And I was like, what did I do? And she's like, you know what you did. Go to the principal's office. Well, it turns out that someone had messed up one of the calculators. And because I wasn't in the room and because I was someone who liked to use the calculators, I had been accused of doing it. And eventually I cleared my name and it came out that I wasn't the one who did it. But I just remember feeling like, man, this isn't fair. I wasn't even in the room. I didn't know what was happening. And here I am being accused of something. And someone is so angry at me for something I didn't even do. Last week, we talked about how to keep your head and heart straight when you're facing unjust or cruel treatment from someone. How is it that you can stay positive in tough situations? How is it you can keep moving forward? And how do you set the record straight when you've been accused of something wrongly? Or how do you get justice in these kind of situations? We've been going through the story of Joseph from the Old Testament, the book of Genesis. And Joseph's father, Jacob, had caused a lot of problems for their family. He showed favoritism to Joseph, and because of that, Joseph's brothers hated him. In fact, they wanted to kill him, but they ended up selling him into slavery. They told their father he was dead. They sold Joseph to an Egyptian slave master named Potiphar. Now, Joseph held on to hope, and he kept trusting that God's promise would come true, that he would one day be a leader. And because of the success he was having while he was a slave in Egypt, Potiphar made Joseph the business manager of his entire estate, and Potiphar's business grew. And everything was great until it wasn't. One day, because Joseph was good looking and he was successful, he caught the attention of Potiphar's wife. And she wanted to have an intimate relationship with him. Well, he could have taken advantage of this situation, or he could have just gotten revenge on his slave master, Potiphar. But instead, he chose to have integrity, and he fled. He ran away from the situation. Now, Potiphar's wife lost it when Joseph turned her down, when he said no to her. And because of her ego, and because she was so upset, she lied about what Joseph had done. She said that Joseph had accosted her, that he had abused her and attacked her. So Joseph was sentenced to prison without a trial. And there's this interesting little verse in Genesis chapter 39, verse 21. This is what it says. But the Lord was with Joseph in prison. How amazing is that? That even when he's been falsely accused of something, when he's experiencing cruel and unfair treatment, the Lord was with Joseph in prison and showed him his favorable love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. See, it's really important to recognize here that as Joseph grew and he matured, he learned that it was important to have integrity. Integrity means doing what is right, even when it costs you something, even when it's hard, and even when you want to take the easy way out. And it's also important to realize, though, that having integrity doesn't mean that your life will be easy or that things will go the way you want. Here, Joseph was in prison, falsely accused of a crime because he had integrity. Psalm chapter 1, verses 1 through 3 say this: "Oh, the joys of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked or stand around with sinners or join with the mockers. But they delight in the law of the Lord, meditating on it day and night. They are like trees planted by the riverbank, bearing fruit each season. Their leaves never wither, and they prosper in all they do." See, Joseph was accused of something he didn't do, and he was even punished for it. But he remained steadfast. He remained true to who he was. He kept his integrity. He held on to his integrity, his character, even when it cost him something. And he trusted that God would let the truth win in the end, even if it took a long time. And instead of focusing on the people who were hurting him, he focused on building and maintaining a character that honored God. So what we need to do when we're facing cruelty, when we're looking at an unjust world, is we need to hold on to our character, because integrity can withstand injustice.